So when you think about this, this is the one that had the earnings out today. This is the one that's going to have really all the heat, right? So if it holds its gap, then that's where we've got to be really kind of mindful of what's going on. It's got all the heat right now. This is where all the money's going, is into this thing. So it had a really weak day yesterday. The gap's about 20% for the most part. I'm not sure if it holds or not. It's up quite a bit. Man. So that's where we got to kind of watch these things. But its high was 58.76 from here. So if it can hold over this 58, then I think, good morning, everybody, then I think we have ourselves a chance, you know, to get this party going and have some upside to it. If it rips back under 58, then we're going to have some resistance, and it's going to be a fake breakout. So when we think about breakouts, right, does the breakout hold above resistance, or does it hold below? So if you get a gap, but it's below resistance, then the intraday spikes get sold off. And so that's where we've got to always be mindful of what's going on. And the rest of these guys, like see this CGC, they're not going to hold their gaps unless TLRY does. So if TLRY starts to fade its gap, then these are all going to be weak. If it holds, because today it's the one with the earnings today, if it holds, then the rest of them are going to follow through. So just kind of be mindful of your levels. The one level on Cron to watch is this kind of this, you know, this 11-ish, you know, 10, 11 breakout area. That's going to be really the kind of the main area. If it comes and taps back and holds up, you know, you may have a chance. But watch that TLRY to see where it's going. Keep this BRKS. This one was a hot little ORB yesterday. Any of you guys hit this bad boy? Holy shiite, right? This thing was just clean. You don't get clean ones like that very often. So that one had all the juice. So this thing's opening a little bit weak today. You can see at the open. If this thing goes red to green and kind of takes out that 40, I would re-trigger this one for a play. Hey, Giant, how you doing? So I would re-trigger this one. It's got the huge momentum, right? 8 million shares volume, 53 million share float. You can see the breakout as to all-time highs. So this is something you're going to want to keep on your list for a little bit of time anyways. It's got the juice. This AMFD looks like it's got a little bit more in it. Man, it's up 250% yesterday. It trended, though, throughout the day. It dipped at the open at 3 and then ran right into the close at 6. So even its intraday range was about 100%. It's gapping up today again. You got to be careful on second day gaps. So I keep an eye on this one, but this is not an immediate priority for me. I very rarely play small caps. They're just too stressful for me. Hey, Cross, how you doing? Now, this Billy I like, if it can hold here. So it's sitting at its moving average at 20 million shares volume. Big, big push yesterday. Part of the issue with this one was some of the Chinese stocks were dying off yesterday. So, like, this one just couldn't hold its trend. But if you start to see this thing kind of remount, watch this area right here. Right? It kind of need to break like 1350 or so. If it can, this one should have some juice. You can't ignore that volume yesterday either. Geekos, Glockos. This one is hot to trot. So you got 27 million share float. You're already seeing a nice trend pre-market. I think this one has got a chance. So I'll hit this one. How we want to do this one, if it ORBs, right? So if it gaps up, 3 sideways candles or more at the open, we can take the opening range breakout. If it's anything less than that, don't. There might be a spread on it too. If the spread is on it, then you can't chase it at the breakout. You'll have to wait for it to pull back. And we got Shoe Carnival. You know what? This is just a year of retail, consumer cyclical stores. This is the hot spot right now. You got to see this thing is just busted loose to all-time highs. Who even knew that Shoe Carnival people were going to, right? Who knew? So this one, you're already starting to see the trend pre-market. You know the drill, right? Especially on something with a low float like this. We want to see gap up, 1 candle, 2 candle, 3 candle, sideways motion, and then break. If it gaps up and you don't get 3, right, watch for it to pull back to the 9 EMA, and then make sure it holds at the 9, right? So when you think about like a 9 EMA pullback, you want to make sure that it's like literally holding at the 9. Something like a Gurn. You see Gurn yesterday? This is how you want to do the pullbacks when you do a pullback trade. Right? See how like this thing kind of spiked up at the open? And then you pulled back to your moving averages. You need to see them hold here for a little bit before you get involved. Right? As they hold, it gives you confirmation that the spot is real, that the move is holding. And that's when you can start taking it to the upside, right? We're always in the business of getting a little bit of confirmation, and then that's when you can get the pull. So that's what you want to see even with like a TLRY or something. Like, let it pull back to support, let it start to hold. Once it holds, then it's going to be just a lot easier play for you. Unless you get something clean at the open like this. Another one to add to your list, Dust Bunny. This thing is hot to trot. So it pulled back to your 20 SMA yesterday, remounted the 9. But look what happened here, right? It gapped down, tapped right into support, and then totally just reversed, and like it was just flagging and hanging all day. I mean, it was a beautiful runner. This thing is opening a little bit weak. See how it's down about $1 this pre-market? So that's good. So this thing's opening down $1. If this thing goes green and reverses, that's going to re-trigger the secondary trade. So I like this one a lot. I keep this one on the list. All right. Then we got a couple other ones I want you to keep. Keep this SPLK. This is a fade. We were trading this yesterday on this trendline break, but I missed the original play on this, which was, see how like this thing opened up, see how this, you got this red open? Like from the previous day, this quick dip. When you get these quick dips and then they rip back and they go green, that's like a trigger for really those powerful opening moves. That's where you get like those big spikes. We want to see that. So you can see this thing's already open and a little bit weak. If we see a red to green on this thing again, I'll hit this thing again. Like this thing's got some good momentum on it. And then keep Sono on the list. This thing was beautiful at the open. Same type of deal. This is what you want to see when you're looking at pullbacks, right? See how this thing popped up? And then you pull back to 9. See how it starts to hold for a couple candles, right? That's when you get the confirmation that the move is real. Once you start to hold and you ride, that's where you get the, that's where you get the support, and then you know kind of where to put your stop loss too. And you can see this thing's just got a beautiful range on it. I definitely want to keep this thing on the list too. I think that's really it. You're not seeing too much crazy action right now pre-market. The market is really, really overbought. You can see like you've had 3 up days. You're outside the upper Bollinger Band, 96 stochastics. Overall, it's just stretched. We may see a few days of either a dip or consolidation. It's hard to have any range when you're that extended, so just something to be aware of. So yeah, I'm expecting a little bit of choppiness the next couple days. You can work off an overbought condition in 2 ways. One is via price, meaning you come down in price. The second way is via time. You just go sideways. And that's what the market may need. You can work off the overbought condition just by going sideways for a little bit. So that's something to kind of keep an eye on. So that's it for me today, folks. Let's go out and do what we do. Got back on the winning board yesterday, but nothing too crazy. At the $800, something like that. And so let's try to make sure we get like a heater today and get that stuff going. All right, so be good, be great, be fast.